Good morning, Angel. How are you feeling? What? No, nothing's wrong with my accent. What are you on about? Anyways, adjusting well to being on a ship? Got your sea legs yet? Well, I just kind of assumed. Hey, don't get all snarky with me. It's my thing. Well, have you been on a ship before? I will take your reluctance to answer as a sign that I was right. Well, my question still stands. Are you adjusting alright? Good, good. It looked like you were adjusting alright. Yeah, Torin is taking a break from steering the ship, so I'm stepping in for a bit. Speaking of which, he and the crew are still kind of skittish around you, from what I've seen, but I know they'll come around eventually. Don't worry. You've only been part of our motley little crew for a few days, and having a Reaper on board is bound to cause a little anxiety and such. But I'm sure you'll grow on them eventually. Just like I'm going to grow on you. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. I know I'm irresistible. Alright. I'll give it a rest. Pinky promise. Yeah, I know I don't have a pinky finger on this hand. Just imagine it. Okay. For real though, don't worry about the crew. They're alright, folks. Oh, they're not as bad as you were expecting, huh? Yeah, when people think of pirates, they tend to think of those who pillage and murder. Which we don't do. Anymore, at least. At least the pillaging part. The murder part is complicated. We try to limit it to the corrupt, shitty nobles. And other generally evil bastards. No innocence. We have somewhat of a moral code, though sometimes they're mostly just guidelines. There are many others who sail the rariest sea who don't have such guidelines, or anything remotely resembling them. Yeah, I said anymore. The crew wasn't always the, pillar of morality you know it as today. The captain before me, and the crew members who were loyal to him and held his beliefs, they were all real pieces of work. But, luckily, they're not around anymore after my little mutiny some years back. There were a lot of reasons. Me and my friend Jonathan, we grew up on the ship as children. We were practically raised by the crew. Well, the ones still around. The others weren't exactly kind, which you would expect. We were just urchins, or street rats, as they so eloquently called us. Let's just say, being the two youngest on board meant we only really had each other to rely on. With the exceptions of those who are still around today. They aren't awful, they just weren't able to do anything against the captain. Yeah, he worked us kiddos to the bone. Punished us when we talked back, fought back, or dared to say anything other than yes sir when he told us to do something. Manual labor, usually. And he was very big on corporal punishment. Yeah. That's why that pinky is missing. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those times I was supposed to die or whatever was because of him. Am I allowed to ask about that? I've been near death several times in my life, so I can only assume there's multiple times I, quote-unquote, evaded death. No? Well, you can't blame a pirate for trying. But yeah, former captain, piece of shit. I try to avoid having his name in my mouth whenever possible. A lot of the scars you see, and don't see, are from him. Both me and John got him over time. Others on board did too, but we were the two most rebellious scamps. Partners in crime, you could say. And we were all thrilled when the captain and the others fucked right off. We left them on an abandoned island. Well, we left the captain and everyone loyal to him left on their own. Good riddance to bad rubbish, I say. Out in the middle of nowhere. Part of me wishes we'd killed at least the captain, but part of me finds some sick satisfaction in imagining them all going mad and turning on each other. They deserve it, whatever happened to them. You look like you've got something on your mind. Shoot. Ah. You're right. No, you wouldn't have met anyone on the crew named Jonathan. John, he's not around anymore. Oh! No, don't you start with that apologies and shit. It's been years. I'm alright at this point. Anyways, I know I mentioned it before, but how much do you know about the gem we're looking for? Ever heard of it before, working for the goddess of death and all? Yeah, Savian's emerald. Legend says it can bring someone back from the dead, heal fatal wounds, etc., etc. I've also heard it can only be used once before it disappears and reappears in a new place, waiting to be found once again. Yeah? Fascinating. How does Kiris feel about such a gem? I mean, I've never heard of any legends of her and Savian fighting or anything, but death is one of her domains, and life and death are kind of the polar opposites, so I can't help but be curious. Huh. I figured she wouldn't be too fond of it, but the whole second chances thing, that's unexpected, but interesting. It's kind of nice that she believes in second chances, when deserved. Oh, why do I want the gem? It's a funny story, actually. Not really. I heard some whispers among other pirate folk that there's another pirate crew, one of the not-so-savory ones, that want to get their hands on the emerald themselves. The captain is known only by the moniker Echo. I don't know why. No one does. And their real name is unknown. What is known, though, is that they serve something separate from the deities of our pantheon. Something new and evil. According to the rumors, at least. I don't know what their motives are for wanting the emerald, but I know for sure that whatever they are, it's not good. I only saw Echo once in person, when I was little. They had some kind of deal with my old captain, but I could tell even he was freaked out by them. They're bad news. You think my motivations are noble? Careful, Angel. That's dangerously close to a compliment. And I wouldn't get too ahead of yourself either. Pirating is a dangerous profession. Pretty much everyone wants to kill you, present company included. Having a gem like that would come in pretty handy, wouldn't it? Can't let you go around thinking I'm too soft now, can I? Hey, what's wrong now? Your face fell. Ah, I see. You usually don't spend much, if any time, with the people you're supposed to be taking to the afterlife, huh? You've never talked to them before? Well, none of them were me, were they? Like I said, I don't do the whole dying thing. I've got a lot of shit I still need to do. And besides, you don't need to worry about taking me anywhere if I win our little bet. You're still insistent I won't, huh? Well, I guess we'll have to see, won't we?